Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back, guys, to our course, Word Classes and Phrases. Our today's topic is all about prepositions. Okay, let's start with this short text. I'd like you to read this out and feel for yourself what is missing. If the whole story somehow makes some sense. Tuesday morning, Mom fixed my favorite breakfast, pancakes. She flipped a few golden brown circles, the griddle, spatula, and stacked them on my plate. As usual, I took a big bite, and as usual, sticky syrup dripped the pancakes, and I couldn't shake. To me personally, some parts of the story make some sense, but the story as a whole, it's kind of hard to understand because some words are definitely missing. And can you guess what they are? You're right. Prepositions are not there. Okay, here's the complete one. On Tuesday morning, Mom fixed my favorite breakfast, pancakes. She flipped a few golden brown circles off the griddle with a spatula and stuck them on my plate. As usual, I took a big bite, and as usual, sticky syrup dripped off the pancakes and onto my plate. Now, the whole story makes perfect sense, right? And so, thanks to the prepositions, that somehow makes the relationship between some of the words work pretty nicely. Alright, so can we imagine speaking a language without prepositions? I don't think so. Now let's look at this situation. Let's look at the picture. Suppose you are in this situation, for example, somewhere close to the officer, and you are seeing a zombie is approaching the officer, right? So you want to somehow warn the officer. So you probably say out loud something like "zombies," and the officer says, "Where?" And can you imagine how to tell the officer without prepositions? You. What? You? You may use some gestures or non-verbal language to help you, but thanks to preposition, you can easily tell him behind you. Okay. All right. So, what is a preposition? Prepositions are small words that indicate relationships between other words in a sentence. Okay. So they tell something like place where something is, or time, like when something happened or something is happened or something will happen. And most prepositions have several definitions. Okay, so they have one single form, for example, like on, and yet its meaning varies according to different contexts. Okay, so imagine you're looking at these three objects: a cup of coffee, a coffee table, and you. And if you are asked to describe the relationship between these three objects, how would you do that without a preposition? I guess that will be hard, right? So we can say something like the coffee is on the table beside you. Okay? So the relationship between the coffee and the table is now clear, and also the same relationship between the table and you is also crystal clear. Okay, so basically prepositions tell us where one word is in relation to another. Okay, all right, exercise 1. I'd like you to spot or identify the prepositions in this text. Something like what you see first line, once upon a time. So the first preposition is on, so you do the rest. Okay. All right, types. So there are several types of preposition, or there are several kinds of meanings preposition have, but among the basic ones are time, place, and direction. Okay, so time preposition like at, on, in, but the same set can also be found in place preposition. And, some preposition can work in or operate under place preposition category and direction preposition category. So it all depends on the context. So for example, the book is on the table. So that indicates place. The sheep jumps over the gate. That indicates direction. Okay. In English, the most used prepositions are of, to, in, for, with, and on. So that, I guess, signifies that the 6 prepositions are, I guess, the most basic ones, the ones that the majority of English speakers use in their daily conversations. Alright, and here are some other more common prepositions. Of course, this is not an exhaustive list. And exercise 2, I'd like you to categorize all the prepositions into 3 types, as we talked about earlier: time, place, and direction. Okay? And now, compound preposition. So, a compound preposition consists of a combination of words considered as one preposition. And its basic function is to connect the object of a preposition to another word or a set of words. So for example, according to. So you have this preposition to combining with according, and they then make up a fixed expression, according to. You cannot change to with according with, for example. So according to this single unit then. In spite of, for example. So there are 2 prepositions here, in and of, and plus another word, spite, and together they work as a single unit. Again, you cannot change in into on, spite of. It doesn't mean anything. Alright, and then exercise 2, I'd like you to fill in the gaps in each sentence with preposition, and make sure you use some compound prepositions. And exercise 4, I'd like you to make up 5 sentences using compound preposition. For example, according to the university policy, students whose absences reach 30% of all the meetings are not entitled to receive a grade. So that's an example of using according to. Some important notes. So according to traditional grammar, it is not acceptable to end a sentence with a preposition. Something like, there is no one else to hide behind. So you can see this preposition behind ends the sentence, and that was considered unacceptable. But grammatically speaking, it's correct, and it's actually natural. Native speakers of English say this kind of construction a lot. Okay? The same is true of where did it come from. The sentence ends with this preposition from, and it's grammatically correct and natural. You can somehow, comply with the traditional grammar rule by putting preposition in the middle, like there is no one else behind whom to hide. So that sounds grammatically correct, but that is not natural. So perhaps the majority of native speakers will not probably say that. Or from where did you come from? So it's grammatically correct, it's not natural. Alright, and souvenir or homework assignment, I'd like you to complete the text with the most appropriate prepositions and identify their time. Okay? Alright, that's all for now. Thank you so much for your attention. We'll see you again next week. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.